Yes, Jade.
Jordan, give me one
Happy
second.
Friday.
Give me 1 second, I'm coming, okay? Just give me 1 second.
No, please crack on. Don't let me disturb you. What are you doing?
I'm just trying to get ready, okay? Just give me 1 second. I'm nearly ready. I promise.
Jade, when I texted you 15 minutes ago and said, "Are you ready?" and you said yes.
I know.
I'm guessing you actually meant no.
You know me, I'm never on time. African time, man.
No, I do know you very much.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm ready. Okay,
Next time I'll say 6:30 instead of 7 p.m. Let's try that again. Hello, Jade. Happy Friday.
Hello, I'm sorry, the lighting is just not hitting the way it usually does, and it took me forever to get ready, but hi Jordan, how are you?
Listen, I got my ring light right here. It's been my backbone over lockdown. I'm not even joking. I'm doing well. It's the end of the week. I feel good. I've got my can of Coke here to just give me a bit of 7 p.m. energy. How are you doing? How have you been? How's lockdown been?
Do you know what, I'm a bit over it. I'm ready to get out. I'm ready to, get back to normal life. But we absolutely move. Ugh, I'm just not looking.
You know what? I feel like if the dictionary is missing one phrase, it's "we move." What does that even mean? Tell me. Educate me.
It's just onwards we go. Next, that is we move, encapsulated. Onwards.
Lots of synonyms, not very many definitions. I love it. It's very good. Listen, lockdown's been good for me, although I've been ordering so much food. My Deliveroo has gone off the roof. So much Nando's. And my house is full of all of these now. They might need their own room. So what's been your favourite purchase when it comes to Deliveroo? Where do you normally order from?
Do you know what? I'm become a Wagamama's girl. I keep ordering katsu curries and I don't love them, but I do love the chili squid at Wagamama's. So I have to bump the price up so I get that free delivery. Do you know what I mean?
Sheesh, think big, work smart. You got any more money saving tips for me?
I feel like that's the worst tip ever, to spend more money so you can save £2 on delivery. Yeah, no, definitely not me. Don't come to me for finance advice at all.
Jade, I hear ya. I still reckon your finances are probably way better than mine. At this point, I'm pretty sure Monzo dislikes me.
Anyway, Jordan, why did you call me again?
Wow, you are straight to the point, aren't you? But it's good to know that you remember. It's Friday. It is 7 p.m, which means we're hosting Culture Club. There's literally people watching us right now through our cameras.
No, I honestly don't believe you. If there are people watching right now, I want to see 10 fire emojis in the comments, and I also want them to go follow my Instagram, Jade MacJ, cheeky Insta plug.
Yeah, let's do a little Monzo plug too. Feel free to send me money if you want. I'm just joking. Jade, you know Caleb, right?
Yeah, I do know Caleb.
Old mate Caleb. Listen, the guy is stuck in South Africa. Absolutely suffering. Because things are tough.
Stuck.
It's sunny. There's beaches out there.
On a beach.
There's good food. Cheeky little bri. He's having the worst time of his life. But what's cool is that Caleb has been with his family, with his mum, and he did a super cool, awesome interview with his mum. They spoke a lot about creativity, how it's evolved, how it's kind of changed in the midst of these restrictions that we're in right now, boundaries, all that sort of stuff. And I know that this video is really going to inspire you. So I'm well excited for you to see it tonight.
Jordan, I've got a text, we've got to go, they're going to play the video right now.
Sick.
We've got to go. Okay, sorry, bye.
You are not just a creative person, you're not just someone that leads teams, but you are in fact my mother.
I am your mum.
Yes, exactly. For everyone watching that don't know who you are, would you maybe just give a little introduction to yourself and your name as well?
Okay, so yes, I am Mandy. My name is Mandy and I am Caleb's mum. And yes, I have the honour and privilege of not leading, but looking after our creative teams across Africa. And so I use the word not leading because looking after is a commission that we all have to look after people. And so, yes, that's what I do. It's awesome. I love it. And that's it.
Nice. That's really, really good. And I guess, obviously you lead people, you lead teams here in South Africa. And it is a bit different than normal. We aren't doing the exact same things that we've done for many, many years. And I know in the UK, which is where I'm from, you stay here, I stay in the UK, I'm over here for holiday. And I'm stuck at the moment in South Africa, sunny South Africa, enjoying the beaches and all that stuff.
It's difficult. It's a burden you need to bear.
Yeah, it is. And but the UK looks a bit different. There's lockdown, we can't leave our homes. It's really, really hard to get stuck in creatively. There is a creative block, there is a mental block, and it's just really, really hard to push past that barrier to sometimes create on a day-to-day basis. And we are so used to the way of life that we had before in maybe 2019 or the years before, and we look at this day and age where we're locked in and can't do much. And that definitely plays a big role in people. It definitely plays a mental role, a physical role of, just changing our routines and the way we do things. But I wanted to find out from you, since last year 2020 is when everything kind of hit the fan.
Yes.
What was the biggest change for you guys in terms of team, church, and how you kind of adapted to the new lockdown?
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think for every single person, within our world as we know it, life looks different. And I think for us, well, I can speak for us in South Africa, for us in our creative team in Africa, it's been difficult. We've had, we're part of a broken humanity, and we live in a world where we're managing mental health, we're managing finances, we're managing relationships, we're managing friendships, and everything is now spiraling in a different direction. And so for any human being to try and get their hands on a new direction, for all those things, all those areas in one's life at the same time, that is huge. And I don't think, we're not equipped. Sometimes we don't even have language to help us move past it. But I think the biggest thing is there's one constant for us. Yeah. Everything in the world may change, but for us as Christians, there's one constant, and that is the Word of God and the authority of Jesus Christ and His Word in our lives. And it doesn't matter if you're a creative, it doesn't matter if you're an academic, it doesn't matter where you are, what part of the world you're in, what you're faced with. That is the only constant in our lives. And I think that's the beautiful opportunity we have. We have an opportunity to go, I see everything is changing, everything is spiraling, but there is one thing I can hold that can keep me grounded, that keeps me anchored, that keeps me at peace, that keeps me rooted, and that is God's Word and the authority of that Word in our lives.
Yeah. No, that's really, really good. I think, definitely these times are so different, and I guess we all need to remember to have grace and also just stay flexible within the times, because we have an idea of what we want to do, we have an idea of we want to kill this, we want to do this, and sometimes it just doesn't pan out that way, and that's okay. We need to have a little bit of peace on ourselves and grace to ourselves and say, all right, well, maybe I couldn't do those things, but I'm still here, I'm still doing the daily tasks, I'm making the small ones big. And I'm just gonna get on with it and just try to make life great. I think it's kind of changed along through the years when it comes to trends and jumping on the trends and the instant I want it now.
Don't care how, I want it now.
Instead of working every single day to earn something, instead of just this world of we get to live in something that we want it now. We don't want to wait. We want that instant gratification. We want that Instagram famous, but we don't want to work for it. We just want the look. We want the peak, but we don't want to go through the summit. And something that's kind of instilled, I think, in our generation. But I definitely wanted to swing the pendulum to you and see, how do you manage with this ever-changing world that we're in, where there's so many things changing all the time. You have Instagram, you have Twitter, people get lost in the noise. How do you stick to something, and how do you stay on trend and stay on topic and kind of give a certain direction to what you want to be doing instead of following all these things that can lead to dead ends sometimes.
Yeah. It's weird because it's a good question, Caleb, but I think I spoke to our creative team I think at the end of last year, and I mentioned this one thing, that God is actually not interested in what we are creating, but he's interested in who we are becoming.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes we put so much effort into the thing that we create that we can get lost in it. As creatives, we can get lost in the world of creating. And it becomes the very thing that we live for. And if we're not careful, we can get lost in the idolization of creating.
Yes.
And creating the newest thing, the latest thing, and where God's not actually interested in all those things. He is the creator of all creation. He can give us, we know this, all of us, we know it. We know that he can give us inspiration at the drop of a hat, but he's actually interested in who we are becoming. And so especially in this world, I would hate for our creatives in Africa to become a group of creatives that create, and it's all about what they're creating and what they're manufacturing, and they lose the art of becoming these sons and daughters of a king who is divinely in love with them. And he wants the best for us, and he's there to actually help, almost, bring that peace within our lives, peace within what we're creating. There's so much anxiety that comes with trying to do the latest cutting edge thing.
True. Yeah, all the time.
That you see creatives with mental health, or not even creatives, anybody who's trying to do the latest thing. When we start running after that, anxiety creeps in, not feeling good enough creeps in. We always comparison. All those things that we've been speaking about for generations, they all creep in. They're not new things. They're things that have been around in the biblical days, and there are things that are still here. But it comes back to who we are becoming in Christ, and it comes back to what I said in the very beginning, that Christ is the only constant. And if we just marry those two things along our journey, this is a pilgrimage. This is not meant to be raced. It's not a race. It's a pilgrimage. It's a journey where we discover who we are in Christ. And there is a peace and a rest and a grace within that.
Yeah, I definitely loved all that you said about that. I think, again, chasing trends, and you can just get lost in the chase, I think, sometimes.
The chase can become an idol.
Yeah.
And we don't even know it.
Yeah.
And the next minute we're lost in it, and we don't understand why we're feeling unglued, unstuck, undone. We're faced with all the stuff, but actually all God is calling us is to, just rest in him. And nobody wants to, we know that, we've all heard it a million times, but that is the truth. You can't unpack the truth. You can unpack it a whole lot of ways, but the truth is the truth. He's interested in who we're becoming. That's so true. I think, you can definitely get lost in the chase, and I think definitely my point, last year, I was, in lockdown in my room, and just, I would create in one place and I would sleep in the exact same place, and it just comes a bit of a blur at times, and that was just a bit irritating. And then I definitely think, especially as people in the creative industry creating content, whether it be music, whether it be film, photography, animation, design, I think, especially me, there's been in times in my life where I'm like, oh my gosh, am I even creating something? I think the last thing I don't want to do is just add to the noise. And I said that, I was like, I don't want to create just content for the sake of creating content. I don't want to just create, things that are worthless. I scroll Instagram, and I scroll and I scroll and I scroll, and I'm like, is this worth it? I just want to make something that's original. I want to make something that's authentic and worthwhile. But saying authentic and speaking about that, how do you make sure that you guys are creating something that is for people, that is going to help people, instead of making sure that you don't create content that no one's going to use, or you're just adding to the noise? Oh my gosh, I think that we've got it wrong so many times. I think that none of us have been here before. None of the world has been here before. So I think everyone's just trying, their best, and we will get it wrong for sure. We will create things that sometimes just for the sake of creating, and there is that what's the word? We get stuck in the fact that we always have to create. And I think a lot of our creatives, I've had a few conversations with people that would say, I feel guilty for not, everyone says this is the perfect space to create, but I feel guilty because I feel I cannot create in this space.
Right.
And I think we've got to understand that that's okay too.
Yeah.
Again, the pressure of the world will say, oh, you've got time out now, create.
Yeah. Or they
But
make you feel bad for resting. And
For
it's like,
resting.
you don't need a moment. You
100
need to keep creating. Otherwise, if you rest, you're slacking.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I think for this year, I feel like just for us and our team, I do feel like God is bringing, and I've shared this with you and, Abs and, a few of the peeps, but I think for our team, God's actually calling us to repair. I feel like this year, and I don't think that we as creatives, number one, and as Christians, I don't think we give space in our lives to repair, because we live in a disposable society where everything, we buy something, it breaks, you throw it away, you buy a new one, right? And so I feel like God is calling his church and his people who create and artisans. I feel like he's calling us to take a moment out and to repair. And when you look at that word repair, it actually means the etymology of that word in Latin means to come back home. Right? And I feel like he's calling us to come back home. To forget about the stuff, forget about the trending things, to forget about what's next, and to go, God, I'm coming back home to you. I'm coming back to that place where I once found you. Not repairing as in putting a plaster on something.
And leaving it. And
leaving
like,
it.
Out of mind.
Yeah. Because repair takes time. Repair takes energy.
Yeah.
It takes resource. And it actually takes deep thinking.
And you so value back into that.
100%. I actually believe that there is a season ahead where God is calling us to become artisanal restorers.
Right.
That we understand, back in the day you would have an artisan who would understand, a cobbler. You've had your shoes, your boots.
Yeah, my boots recently fixed, yes.
Yeah. You have cobblers who understand everything about that shoe and will be able to fix it properly so it's in the very original working order.
Yeah.
Not just you walked around with a cable tie on your shoe for how long?
I did.
And your Doc Martens, I think you went to London with tape, gaff tape.
I had gaff tape on my Doc Martens.
On your Doc Martens.
Shoe, and I never fixed it.
And people in London probably thought, where's this kid coming from?
They thought it was a really good fashion statement. I was like, Caleb, like duct tape shoes.
Duct tape shoes. Yeah, great. Okay, awesome. But we don't want that kind of fix, do we? Because it's not really fixed. It's just temporarily suspended.
It's not going to the source. It's just treating the symptoms.
But you'd have to take it to an artisanal restorer, somebody who knows Doc Martens, who knows the shoes, a cobbler, whatever you call them, to fix it, to restore it to its original state. And I think that takes time. You send it away, you don't get it back the same day often, if it's a proper restoring. Yeah. I've been researching artisanal restorers online a little bit, and it takes time, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes resource. And I think we have become immune to repairing things. We go, I can't take time out to repair something. I've just got to push it under and pretend everything's good and let's keep going. Yeah. Actually, I feel like God is going, you know what? If you want to create beautiful things that are lasting, we need to take time to repair. Yeah. And sometimes, in our creative spheres, we're still humans. There's gonna be a season where we're gonna have to restore relationships with ourselves. We're gonna have to restore our relationship with our Father in heaven, and go, Lord, where did I get it wrong? What did I make it about? Was I making it about my craft, or was I actually making it about you and becoming someone you want me to become? Yeah. There is a repairing of so many facets in our lives, and I think it's okay. I think it's good. Yeah. I think there's a call to become artisanal restorers in our own lives, and to restore this beautiful thing that we call creativity, that it's not fast. Creativity is actually meant to last. Yeah. So when God created the earth in the beginning, when he spent 6 days to create, it's lasted up until now. It hasn't faded away. He didn't throw it away, but he keeps bringing restoration. And I think We're called to that. We're called to a creativity that's going to go beyond time, a creativity that will go beyond fashion and trends. And I think that's only found in the Creator himself.
Well, nice.
Yeah.
So the year of repair.
The year of repair.
The year of repair, everyone.
Yeah, well,
That's great.
for us, I feel like in Africa, we're going to be repairing.
Repairing.
And we're going to come back to the original state that God called us to, the original reason why we were all called here, to serve God's house.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's not about creating the next great video, but it's about what that video is going to do in people's hearts and lives, and who they're going to call into the kingdom, and how they're going to affect people's lives. And there needs to be, you spoke about authenticity.
Yeah.
Last year was, for us as a creative team, we had the word authenticity over, and we couldn't understand, I didn't understand why God gave us this word of authenticity. But when it got to the end of the year, we realized that our authenticity was tested throughout the whole of last year. Our authenticity to one another as a team was tested in all of these challenges. Our authenticity with our relationship with Jesus was tested, because who knows, we all needed to dig deep last year, and we still need to. Our authenticity with this house, Hillsong Church, our relationship with it, our love for it, and what God is doing here, that was tested. Oh my goodness, it's still being tested. And I think that's okay as well.
100%, yeah.
But from authenticity to repair, our repair has to be authentic.
Yeah.
It can't be a fast fix.
What would be a couple of things that you wish you knew a little bit younger? The challenges, obviously, you've been in this role for quite some time, and you're no stranger to running teams, doing church. What were some of the key kind of lessons that you've learned throughout this period of working that you could say have been essential to like your growth?
I think it's understanding that you don't need to worry about what people think. It's about you, and it's about your relationship with Jesus. And yes, what you want is you want wise counsel. You want to surround yourself with wise people who love the Lord. But it matters very little about what people think about you as a person. And I think, growing up in a performance environment where I was a dancer, you matter all the time about what people think. And especially in the creative industry, we matter. What people think matters. You make it big in the world when people think highly of you.
Yeah.
And that's a little evil spider web to get caught up in.
Yes.
Is when we think you got your singers and your worship leaders and things that can be critiqued, art that can be critiqued all the time.
Yeah.
And you start to place your value upon how many likes you've got, who interacted with your thing, and that matters so little.
I wish I got a lot of likes on Instagram. I wish I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely agree 100% with what you're saying. You can definitely get lost in the grand scheme of things. You can get lost in the likes, you can get lost in the retweets, you can get lost on the Facebook pokes. Whoever is still doing Facebook, wow. MySpace? I
still have a MySpace account.
MSN? Anyone doing MSN? Pager?
I don't.
No? Bing? I don't know what Bing is, but
I don't know.
Yeah, you can definitely get lost, and if you don't check yourself and if you don't have a solid foundation in what you believe and what you're aiming for, you can get swept away by the lights. You can get swept away by the big things.
Not even on social media. I think it's just in life, the wanting to please people and wanting to be affirmed.
Yeah,
right? You're wanting to, what I have to offer means something. Well, and that's normal. We all want to feel like we're contributing.
Yeah, and valued.
And I think that's part of our calling as the body of Christ, is to make people feel valued, so that they don't go and find their value
in something else.
Right. So what are we creating? What platforms are we creating? Are we perpetuating how people feel valued from external sources, or are we valuing people enough that they don't need to find their value anywhere else?
Yeah. You can get very, very tired if you start to chase those things.
Yeah.
And it's not fun.
Yeah, and you know what? That world will eat you up. It'll take what you've got, it will chew it up, and it will spit it out, and it won't thank you for it.
Yeah.
So,
Great.
Our value is found in one thing only. and that is our legacy and our inheritance in Christ. That's it.
Good.
That's all I got.
In this day and age, we have so much social media, we have so much content creation. Back in, a couple years ago, I don't think before Instagram, before TikTok, it was, you would go out and watch a movie. Now you don't have to go out, you have Netflix. Everyone has iPhones these days, and
I have a BlackBerry. Does that count?
I don't know. Probably not. No. But everyone has an iPhone. Everyone has
an
iPhone or an Android, whatever one you're using. You can take pictures. Everyone's on Instagram, and now because everyone's on Instagram, everyone's a photographer. Everyone's a videographer. Everyone knows how to do videos, and there's so much content out there. And there's good content, but there's a lot of bad content as well.
I'm gonna file my teeth down with a nail file because they are not perfect. Guys, it's literally working.
And it's just oversaturated, and it's irritating. But in this day and age, you do get people who are so passionate about creating, and maybe they've started or not started yet, but it is a big world where there is so many content creators out there. And it can be very, very easily to look at that without even starting and go, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. How am I going to be this person? How am I going to be that person? How am I going to get 1 million subscribers on YouTube or 1,000 likes on Instagram or whatever it may be? And then people get fearful and don't even start the process of creating, and feel like their ideas aren't good enough because they compare it. And, we say comparison is comparison is the thief of joy. And then they don't even start creating anything, and then they get into that whole nasty cycle of things. What would we say to someone who is wanting to create but is scared to fail because there's so many people out there creating? It's a tough one.
No, it is. But I think you've got to ask yourself, number one, why am I creating?
Yeah.
Start there.
Yeah.
And I think it comes back to, if you create something, again, that is leaving a legacy, you're leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
Does it matter if you don't get 100 likes? I feel like if you look at Jesus' 12 disciples.
He only had 12 followers on Instagram. No, he didn't.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if I look at it, okay, let's just take that. It wasn't about, he left a legacy that now reaches, how many humans do we have on Earth? Over 8 billion or something?
Something like that,
Is
yeah.
that right? So that legacy has gone far and wide. Jesus imparted something beautiful that lasts. And does it matter if you don't get the instant? Are you creating for that instant, again, gratification,
yeah.
or the instant likes or the followers?
Right.
Or are you creating because there is a calling on your life to create something beautiful?
Yeah.
Do you know, you look at like hundreds of these just super famous artists who only got recognition once they died. People who, there's talk that, who's the guy who invented the light bulb? Edison?
Edison or Tesla?
I feel, what now? Tesla? Did Tesla?
There is a guy called something Tesla.
Oh, that's right. That nobody really knew about.
No one knew about.
And they credited it to somebody else.
Yeah, we're not talking Elon Musk. Elon Musk did not create electricity.
No, we're not talking about the car Tesla.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about the car Tesla.
No.
We're talking about an actual person.
Okay, I think we should actually research this before we put it on. But what I'm saying is that there is, people get accredited for things once they're dead, but they're not sometimes the people who even invented with the start of it or the catalysts of it. It could be somebody else. Does it really matter if your name is on something? Or does it matter that you are creating something that brings healing, health,
value.
Rest, peace, value to a broken humanity?
Right.
Yeah. And so I get it. I get that there's pressure and we want to be known and I understand all that. It's part of, again, our humanity. We want all those lovely things. We want to be known.
Yeah, because it is a competition. I definitely feel it's a competition. I can scroll on Instagram and I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, they did something cool. But then I put my phone away and create something and feel like the need to oh my gosh, I need to create something better than that now. And especially with ideas, you know, I would look on Pinterest and I would scroll and I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea. This is a great idea. Or I would have an idea of some sort.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay, cool. I don't want this to go anywhere. I want this to be mine. This is my idea. And I don't want anyone to take that idea because I keep it precious.
Yeah.
And I hold it to myself.
Yeah.
And that is maybe not the best thing.
No, I remember actually a season where I was choreographing for a few things here in South Africa, and people were asking, can you record that and can we teach your choreo in my classes? And I was like,
for a fee.
No, well, of course, no, I didn't.
Okay.
Of course not for a fee. I gave it to them and I felt God go, the more you give out, the more I'm gonna impart better and greater things. Right. So we don't have to hold on to anything. We can share, and you know, it doesn't matter if we become these great famous people. What is fame? What is fame?
When you get Krispy Kreme donuts for free.
Okay.
I'm wearing the hat.
Yeah.
And I hope that I do get Krispy Kreme donuts for free.
For wearing the hat.
Yes.
Okay.
Please give me Krispy Kreme donuts.
I'm sorry.
Thanks.
I apologize.
But to continue, sorry.
Got
caught up in the moment.
Again, what are we doing all of this for? Is it for the, you know, moments of fame? Do you want to be the next person who's going to be remembered in history for your music? Well, if you are, then that's fantastic. Well done. But does it matter if you're not? No. Like, I think sometimes we see everything in the span of just this lifetime, and we forget to see something within the span of eternity.
Right, wow. Yeah.
Right? So my life here on earth is super short. It may feel very long.
Yeah.
I mean, a whole year of lockdown felt very long. But in reality, our perspective is so small. We're seeing it there. When you get an eternal perspective, the legacy that you create changes.
Yeah, wow.
So
what lens are you creating with?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you creating with a limited time source of like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, from here to here, that's what I want to create.
And do you even want to just be like relevant for season 20, you know, autumn 21?
Yeah.
Like we don't want to create that. That's awesome that there are, you know, fashion is created like that, and that's amazing.
As long as it doesn't take over your well-being in your life and you.
But
that was not us.
yeah. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're creating with an eternal perspective in mind, and none of it matters, guys. No likes, no fame, none of it matters.
Great. That sounds really good. Thank you so much.
But it matters.
It matters, yes.
Legacy matters.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Well, you can follow our Instagram links.
That very well, didn't we?
Instagram links down below. But it doesn't matter.
But
the Instagram links will be down below or on the screen here somewhere. So give us a follow. No, I'm just kidding.
Or don't follow us. You know, the choice is yours.
The choice is yours. Last question for today. What's one piece of advice that you could give a creative person working in the creative industry? One piece of advice.
My piece of advice would be very simple, and you probably don't want to hear it.
Create longevity. No.
Yeah.
Is it?
No, I would say it's just really simple. Think deeply about who you're creating for and what you are becoming.
Wow.
That's it.
That is good. That is good. Good question, definitely. Well, thank you so much for being on this. I don't know what we call this, but it's been fun. Thank you.
It's a little chat, isn't it?
It is. I would love to do more of these more often.
A little chat here
Yeah.
in South Africa. Nothing bougie, nothing.
Really
you know?
stripped back, really raw, really
Yeah.
real.
Real,
Perfect.
authentic,
Yeah.
legacy. Love it.
Done.
Done.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Really, really appreciate it. And this has been the first one of Culture Club for 2021. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Hey, Jordan.
Jade, how
good
cute
was
was
that?
that? I
That
love
was
seeing
amazing.
Caleb
Oh,
presenting with
honestly,
his
I
mum. I
loved
think we
it.
know who our favourite butler is now. Good
We
old,
definitely do.
not old. Good. We love you, Mandy.
Mandy, thank you so much for that video. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us. And shout out to the creative team in South Africa. We love you.
Indeed. They are an absolute creative bunch, aren't they? Jade, I've got some sad news for you. It is the end of the night.
Oh, it went so quick.
It went far too quick. But remember at the start how I said we've got people watching us through a webcam, and I'm not talking about the CIA. I mean people watching from home. Let's say, for instance, some of them are here for the first time. What would you say that they need to do to kind of get stuck in, get involved, get plugged in, all that kind of stuff?
Do you know what? So the best way for them to keep up to date with us is to follow us on Instagram, Media Collective London. They can see everything that we're doing. You know, they can keep up to date with what we have going on in Media Collective, and just keep connected with each other as well. You know, you've got to keep on FaceTime, Zooming, all these kind of things. You've just got to keep connected with each other. So thank you for FaceTiming me, Jordan.
That's a really good point. In fact, what we should do is we should set everyone a challenge. As soon as tonight finishes, which isn't going to be too far from now, FaceTime someone. FaceTime a mate, FaceTime a family member. Just FaceTime someone. And Jade, give them a question that they should ask first. Give them a deep question, something that's not just like, how are you? But what would you actually ask to really kind of figure out how people are doing?
Just ask, you know, when was the last time you cried?
Wow, sure.
You said go deep. You said go deep.
It's deep. Good. Yeah, wow. I mean, maybe also ask them what their favourite Marvel movie is too.
Yeah,
just to get that balance
keep
right.
It light.
But yeah, very good. But listen, everyone watching from home, it's been an absolute pleasure being with you tonight. We hope you enjoyed tonight. Hope you've been inspired. Hope that you've learned something. You know, if you enjoyed tonight and you'd love someone else to experience it too, feel free to hit the share button below. Share that link with your friends and family. I know loads of people love using WhatsApp these days. Share it on WhatsApp if you need to, or whatever. But we hope that we see you super soon. Take care of yourself, stay safe, wear your mask, drink water, and we love you to bits.
We love you. See you later, guys.
Bye.